Hi everybody, welcome. It's Janice here from New Zealand. Now I'm an hour earlier today for New Zealand, but I hear there's been a time change in the USA. So we're just waiting for some people to join us, and I'd just like to share a little story while we're waiting for things to sort of start up. In our group. And yeah, so the story was that I've just been talking to somebody in Wyoming about an upcoming summit that we're going to be doing. So we've got Olga that's joined us and Lynn that just joined us. Ladies, just let us know where you're from. I've just been talking to somebody in Wyoming, and there's a beautiful boat here in New Zealand called Janice of Wyoming. So we had a little bit of a laugh about that because my name is Janice, of course, and it's a very fancy super yacht. So she said, well, I can go over to Wyoming. I no guarantee I'll see the super yacht, but I can see the horses that are roaming around there. So let us know where you are from. Today we're going to do a few different things as well. And just while I'm waiting for a couple of other people to come on board, because I know there are some people interested in this, another thing that I wanted to share, we've all seen the supermoon. We've all seen the supermoon, and I don't know how it's affected some of you. Some ladies have put some comments on Facebook, which has been comical, but true, how very tired we've been. And so yesterday, which was a couple of days after the full supermoon, which was for us Monday, there was a 1 in the morning, which I took a photo of. And then last night I'd had a bath and I looked out my window and the supermoon was just gold. It was waning, but it was huge. And there was this huge light around it, which was all gold. And I thought, oh no, I can't go down there and go down to the beach. Anyway, I thought, yes, I can, because I can. So I put on a beanie and some clothes over my nightie and went down there. And of course, I'm not really tech savvy. So I've got my iPhone and I thought I'll put on the torch. Well, I couldn't even find the torch. So if anyone can tell me, I know it's down there and you're supposed to scroll or something. I anyway ended up sort of stumbling into the garden. But anyway, we survived. The supermoon was beautiful. The photo didn't look so good, but it's just about getting out there and doing things, because that's really what life is about. It's about getting involved in what's happening out there in the world right now. And for some of us, that's a lot of fear, because we've got the virus going around. And so today what I'm talking about is actually fear and feelings. And I'll get to that a little bit more in a moment, but the fear that's happening around the world right now is absolutely huge. And so it's how can we control that for ourselves. So this topic, it was actually planned anyway. So in my Positively You program, and I've just posted a document up in the unit section in the Facebook web page. I'm on the left hand side just explaining what the course does. But actually in the third module of the course, we dig deep into this fear and feeling. So today you're going to get a bit of an overview, because it is so important as we raise ourselves up to want to achieve our goals, that we've actually got to move through fears all the time. You know, it's our comfort zone that we are continuously expanding so that we can achieve what we want for ourselves. And first of all, that's, deciding the things. And I think I talked about it last time. Somebody wanted direction. I said, well, whatever you don't like, go in the opposite direction. Hi, Michelle. So just write down where you're from. So remember today, when you finish, if you've asked a question or put a comment on, I'm going to be drawing a card for you from the Messages of Life. And so that's our little treat for today. They're brand new. They're beautiful. So when we moving forward to achieve our goals, or we work out what we want, we are continuously out of our comfort zone, because otherwise we're just milling around down here, stuck in a rut, stuck in fear, stuck in negative thinking. And for us to move forward in life, we've actually got to try something new. If you think about a new job, then, you know, you're always apprehensive for the first few days or few weeks. Hi, Susan. Welcome. And if you can let us know where you're from, we've got our messages of life here today that we're going to be sharing. And just so that you remember who I am, just in case you've forgotten, my name is Janice. I've been doing this work for 30 years. I started it when I went to learn how to be a better parent for my daughters. And it was about how I could help them have good self-esteem, when I realized it was like, oh my God, that's me. I've got low self-esteem. And the reason that it twigged for me, because ring was on my face, showing the world that I was happy. Inside my soul, I was crying and dying because I wasn't being the real me. And for all the workshops that I've done, and I've done hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars because I had a dream that I want to make come true, what I discovered was that when I was 15, and I was bullied at 15 by 6 girls that wanted to beat me up at high school because I liked a boy and he liked me, but somebody else liked him. And so the group of girls ganged up on me. That I stopped saying yes to me. And at that moment in life, which I didn't know then, I didn't know that I did that until I was started to do some workshops. Hi, Deborah. Write down where you're from. Now, in the comment box, I think you can just type something in there. I was going to go on my iPhone today, but I couldn't work out if I could see comments on there. So I've gone back to this and trying to get a better light for you. But just going back to my story, I didn't know that I had low self-esteem. I didn't know that it had happened to me when I was 15. I didn't know how to fix it. I just knew that I wasn't being the real me. Or I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. So I was unempowered. I was in a marriage where I was being bullied because I didn't know the skills. I didn't have the skills to be able to move out of it. So for that whole 30 years, I mean, once I started it, I've never stopped learning. I love it. I love it. I'm still learning, and especially with what's happening right now in the world as well. Again, it's another learning curve. So so that's who I am. I don't know wherever anyone is from, but I've been chatting to a lady in Wyoming, and we've got coming up in April a summit on relationships. So there'll be some more information on that. And I've already covered a Facebook Live on that. So if you scroll back down on the page, if you go into the videos on the left-hand side, you'll see all the videos on there. I've got one there about relationships as well. And I've actually got that in a module. So that's module number 5 in the course as well. And that's critical because when we are unempowered, when we've got low self-esteem, our knowledge, our confidence is, you know, down there, down rock bottom, and then we don't know how to move up. And for me, that was critical, that once I realized where I was moving up. Hi, Kathy. Kathy's joined us, so put a comment in there where you're from, Kathy. Today, just reminding the new ladies, if you've written in there, we're going to do messages of life. I'm going to pull you a card so that you get an extra little tip from the chaps upstairs tonight. So what we're looking at is how we move forward. And so today's topic is fears and feelings. And first of all, kind of what I want to address is what is happening. And I'm going to be talking about this just for a couple of minutes. So if you haven't got a pen and paper handy, go and get a pen and paper while I'm chatting, because, you know, I'm a teacher. I always give everyone quizzes. It's just mandatory, but it's for you to be able to gauge where you are and where you want to be. So, so what's happening out there in the world, there's a lot of different views about it. It's very real. It's very fearful. And as I say, this topic was picked before that happened. And so there's a lot of different views I want to share for you, because this is about fear. And it's a very real fear. And so a lot of the things, and these are from different people that I have read their books or I follow, because these are the top teachers in the world that I'm learning from. So I'm passing it on to you. So one of them is a Dr. Bruce Lipton, and you may have heard, oh, my hair's gone all funny there. You know, I just got to fix it up. Oops, I can't work out which side to go. There we go, ladies. I'm looking better. That's better. No, it's not. I like to look as good as I can. So Dr. Bruce Lipton, so he's a stem cell biologist. I've read his book after I collapsed. It's still not so good. So what he's saying in his, and he's on Facebook, and there's lots of stuff that are going on there. He says that, yes, people die, but it is a flu, and people die of the flu anyway. And I know when I was over in Australia and I got sick, that was one of the things that they said was that 10 people had died from the flu or from the virus that I picked up over there. And so coming back to New Zealand, where the climate was better for me and I've been working on my health, I was able to get better. So people die from the flu anyway. And yes, it's happening, and yes, it's scary. And so it's about what can you do about it. So you would have probably read a lot of information about who it seems to be affecting the most. And I think I've put something up on the Facebook page as well, and it may have been, I can't remember if Dr. Lipton or who it was, but it's about, you know, for all of us, what can we do now for ourselves? Because we can live in fear of there's nothing we can do, but we can do things. And even just, you know, like they say, the number of people that don't wash their hands and the number of people that don't look after their health and eat healthy food, like really healthy food, and don't eat the junk food, and stop the smoking and stop the drinking, because those things, they're affecting our immune system. So for us, what we can do is learn to be really healthy and do the other bits and pieces that they've suggested as well. So we're building up our immune system. So that was kind of what Dr. Bruce Lipton was saying, was health, food, exercise. So that's your body's story, and your mind story is about using affirmations so that your mind, instead of getting caught up in all the fear, it's like using an affirmation as I am strong and healthy. So he's saying that. Celia Fenn, who is from South Africa, again, she's talking about this, and it is about anxiety, and it is about fear. And she channels Archangel Michael. I might have shared something from her last week, and she's saying as well, is using an affirmation besides everything else of my body is strong and healthy. John Asaraf, who I've done John's courses as well. I did, I can't remember, I've done so many courses. I did one of his. He was talking about fear, and he's saying that there's 50 different types of fear: the fear of failure, the fear of succeeding, the fear of trying our best, the fear of embarrassment. And there's also the fear of being out of control, which is kind of what's happening now. We're starting to feel out of control. So it's now, what can you do for you to put some control back in your life? And it is the healthy food, the stopping the things that, you know, aren't healthy, you know, all the other bits of other healthy things that you're seeing that are being told with regard to crowds and coughing and immune system and everything like that. So that's what you've got control of. Because when fear is around, there's some things we can't do anything with, but there are some things that we can do. And even if it's turning off television and watching the stuff, and I don't read everything on Facebook, but I read the things that are from experts, and certainly that's some of them. Joe Vitale, I just heard a video from Joe. He just popped it up a couple of minutes ago, and I said thanks, and he's saying, well, basically, it's time for us to go within. You know, if we can't go outside, and or if you're not going outside, it's like go within, look for your inner guide and your inner spirit, do some personal thinking about yourself, what you can change in your life so that you are gaining some momentum for yourself from this time of being alone. So it's not kind of just watching Netflix all the time, but it's also about doing some things that you can to get in touch with your inner guidance, your intuition. So, covered that from everyone else. Now we're going to do some stuff for us. So, I invited you to get a pen and paper. Hold on, we've just got some messages coming in. What's this here? Okay, we've got Barbara. I haven't seen Barbara join us here. She may have. Oh, no, I sent you a message here about my Wyoming call. So, what I want you to do is, if you've got your pen and paper, you know you've done this before, so write down number 1 to 10, either vertically or horizontally, because you know that I'm going to ask you a quiz. And the quiz, this is for you, because as we go through understanding where we are in our life, it's like, this is where I am, that's where I want to be, and that's the journey. So those are the questions that I'm going to ask you. So if anyone remembers what they have to do, it's putting your pen in the opposite hand that you normally write with. So the first question is, because we're talking about fear right now, and fear really is just false evidence appearing real. So it's just a thought in our head. It's us thinking thoughts that aren't helping us. Kathy from Plymouth, fantastic. And Paula and Sean have already have joined us as well. So Kathy, I'm putting your name down as the first person. I'm going to pull one of these cards for you later on at the end of the session. And you'll get some extra words of advice because I do channel. So you'll get something extra. So we're going to do this. 1 to 10. My first question to you, which you're going to put a circle around. And the second question, you're going to put a cross around. Look, my hair's still a bit messy. Sorry, ladies, I have to look good because it makes me boost my self-esteem. So the first question is, circle, where is your present level of self-esteem? Sorry, where is your present level of fear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put a circle around the number that resonated for you. So where is your present level of fear, and the circle that the number that sort of catapulted in your brain or you had a feeling for. The second question, you're going to put a square around that number, and this is, where would you like your fear level to be? Where would you like to feel safe? Either of those questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I hope you've done that question because this is for you. It's not for me. It's for you. And this is to help you see where you've got to make some changes in your life, because fear stops you creating the dream. Fear holds you in comfort zone. In your comfort zone. You've got to move out of your comfort zone to be able to achieve the things that you want. Laura's just joined us. So for those ladies that have just joined us, if you put in there where you're from, we're going to pull some cards for you at the end. So is anyone willing to share what their numbers were? I won't call your name out, but if you want to write down there what your numbers are, because for all of you, that's the journey that you need to undertake. So my intention today is that you go out of this, after this session, with some takeaways, with some insights into yourself, with some tips that you can move forward in your life. And so that you've kind of got some tools, otherwise why are you listening to this? And so for me, it's like every time I go somewhere, if I get one idea out of something, or if I move forward in life, it's positive, because if you listen in and don't do anything, you're not moving forward. So just while anyone thinks about some of the things that they might want to put some answers up on the page, I just want to share a couple of things which I've sort of mentioned, but it's about how I have had to move through fear myself. So many years ago, when I decided to follow my calling, I lost my business with this recession, and decided that if I didn't write the movie script, I would be a failure for the rest of my life. And this was kind of channeled to me. So I, it was fairly intense channeling. It's like, oh, wow, which scared me. But if I didn't do it, I was going to be a failure forever. And so I had to go and do some work. So I did something actually with Joe Vitale's miracle coaching, and cost thousands of dollars. But I thought, if I don't learn how to overcome this fear and actually ask for a miracle to come into my life, I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to take this fantastic idea that can change millions of people's lives to the graveyard, because that's where the best ideas are, because people don't have the fear. They don't follow their life purpose and they get stuck. They get caught in fear and they don't do it. And so that was one of the first times that it was such a big, scary, hairy, scary thing that I had to do to be able to overcome that fear. Now, the other thing that I did quite recently, you may have seen this up on my page, and then there's another one where I've got pictures for you, because in my course, you've got to find out who you are. you know, what's your inner sparkle, what's your real job, what's your, you know, really who you are. And I remember one of the photos, because taking the photos, she really tapped into kind of like an inner goddess that I didn't even know was in there, because I'm kind of fairly male energy focused, because I am very focused, and I'm very goal orientated. And there was kind of like this little bit of bubbled up with me, and I was in tears. So she actually said, "Do you want that photo?" And I said, "No." But it was like the fear of who I am becoming. And, you know, moving out of the male energy, which has been around globally, into the female energy, which is also now raising its head to be able to heal the world. And so there were tears for me, and it was like, oh my God, didn't realize I had that, because that was a new me emerging. And nobody's written their numbers down, ladies. I'm waiting for you. Are you 2 and want 10? Are you 5 and want 10? Waiting for some numbers in there. So the other thing that I had, which was pretty scary, was a situation where I needed to protect myself. And I was scared. Well, no, I wasn't scared. I knew what was happening, but it affected me quite a bit. And Carol's joined us. Hi, Carol. And what I had to do was go through looking for things that were going to reduce my fear, because I had something hanging over me that was like, I was coping with, but I didn't know how long I could cope with it. So I've learned some things, and I went and made myself this out of buttons out of my mother's button jar. And what I made was, you might be able to see that, just a little cross, which is just something for me to feel safe. So it's all buttons and beads, and I may have even showed this last week. I've showed somebody. And then I've covered it with gold paint. But it's like, when we're fearful, what are the actions that you are doing to help you move through the fear, move past the fear? And so these are visuals to me. I'm a very visual person. So we do personalities in the course as well. So we know our color, we know our personality, we know what we like. I'm visual. And so this hangs on my bedroom door. And so the things are easy, didn't cost me anything. It was beautiful to play with my mum's buttons from the button tins, which we've probably been playing with for all our lives, and all the grandchildren have little, when they need to be calmed down, they, you know, get out Nana's button tins and put all the reds and the blues together. So there was a lot of comfort there. So what are you doing for your fears? What are you doing? You've got to do something, otherwise you're going to stay stuck milling around. Because it comes back to this quote: falling down is part of life. So anything that has happened in your life has happened because you've learned a lesson. You needed to learn a lesson. And so when we think about, you know, our bad relationships, and we sort of think, well, why did that happen in our lives? It was because, okay, had to learn something. But getting back up is living. And so my situation took a week out of my life, and then I had to get back up on track again. So if you think of your relationships that you've had, what you've learned out of them. The first one, I had low self-esteem. The second one, I learned that to follow my intuition and to speak up. So everything that happens to you that you're fearful of is an opportunity for you to learn. And if you don't take that step, hi Rebecca, if you don't take that step, you're never, ever, 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 ever going to move forward, because on the other side of that fear is your peace of mind. And then you get to that and you've learned that lesson, and then you learn the other one, next one, another one comes along. So if I've never ever made the movie, written the script, I would never been able to move ahead, because I wouldn't have been authentically me. I wouldn't be real me. And for all of you that have come onto my into the group, I've seen that for the most that people are challenged with is confidence. And so, hi Deborah. So confidence, you know, that was where I started 30 years ago. And so to get confident in something, it means you've got to move out of your comfort zone. Because if you don't move out of your comfort zone, you're going to be there forever. You know, if I didn't become a single mum, my girls would never know what a good relationship was, and I would just be crying inside for the rest of my life. So for any of you that are feeling a pull towards doing something, it's because your inner being, your soul is calling you to learn that. And that's what it is. It's your soul calling you, and your mindset, your beliefs, your thoughts, your past habits, the people in your lives, they want you to stay where you are. You want to stay where you are, but you're getting pulled to move out because it's comfortable for you there. But you will never, ever, until you actually start taking some steps to move forward, be able to get the things that you want. And so when we look at fear, that's the whole present of it. If it's our ego, we can look and say our ego is protecting us. So we've got our soul and our ego. Our ego is going to make sure we don't get hurt. Our ego is going to make sure that we're comfortable. And so we stay there, comfortable down here, where you can be comfortable up here when you go on the journey. And so I've shown this, and if you haven't, I show it every week really, because it's actually where, oops, it's crooked, where we are. So fear is right down the bottom here, oops, down here, with anxiety, depression, and all that is because you don't know what to do next. You may not know where the money's going to come from. You may not have a job that you want. You may in a relationship that's not working. But until you actually take some action steps, nothing's going to change. So what you're wanting to do is to go up here. And this is really all those people that I was talking about, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Celia Fenn, Dr. Joe Vitale, way up here. I'm up here because I've done a lot of work on myself. You want to go up that journey so that you can learn to be the best version of yourself. You're going to be on a journey in life. You're on a journey now, but it's a negative journey. It's a journey that's stopping you until you choose to move up again. There is a video on that. If you look in the videos on my page as well, there'll be some information about that. So what questions have you got, ladies, before I move on to the next bit? Anybody got any questions about fear? Because I'm going to move on to feelings. No questions. In that case, I'll take it for granted that what I'm sharing with you is okay today. Is it okay? You're learning something. Anybody want to tell me if they're learning something? So what your fear is about, hi Veronica, Veronica's just joined us. What your fear is about is your inner being calling you upwards, your ego stopping you. Simple as that. So you've got to make a decision who's going to win. You've got free will. Ego can win, and you can just stay where you are for 3 years, 5 years, forever if you want to. I didn't have to write the movie script. I don't have to do that. I didn't have to get my photos taken. But I chose to, because how can I get and create my dream if I want to? So fear as well. So I've manifested my dream life. I'm working on it. I'm manifesting all the time. And dream man. I've been on my own for 7 years. I was writing a movie. I was very goal orientated. I've got to say I'm fearful, but I'm taking steps bit by bit to overcome that fear. So the person knows that I'm fearful. And I'm doing things because now I've manifested something, and this is what manifestation is about. This is when you want a dream and you work towards it, be it for, a year, 3 years, 10 years. Once it arrives, you're in a different state of being, and then you have to learn to live in that next state of being. And so there's fear, but if you take steps, you overcome it. So I trust I'll overcome it. I am overcoming it. But that's actually what fear is about. It's ego wants you to stay here. You want to create something new. As you create your dream life, that's the journey you've got to go on. Okie dokie. So what I'm going to share with you now is a little bit about feelings. Okay, this I share, and we do a lot of discussion about it. Oops. Okay, in my course. So feelings happen like that, just like that. You see your children, and there's just a huge feeling of, well, when they're being good, of warmth and love. You may or may not see it with your partner, because some of you may have loving relationships, others mightn't. You hear a song that reminds you of something pleasant, and you get a feeling. You know, me doing this here with my mum's buttons, you know, mum's been and gone now, and I nursed her till the very end, which was really, really tricky, but it was a privilege to do it. And she comes through every now and then. But it was so neat to work with those buttons that, you know, I mean, some of them were my grandmother's. There was a beautiful feeling about it, a calming feeling about it. So when we have a feeling, it can be a smell, you know, maybe your grandmother's apple pie, or a song that you learned from the past, or, you know, anything. What's happening just like that in an instant that we don't even know is that our body is decoding it. Does that make us feel happy? Does that make us feel sad? So we experience that without us knowing that our brain and everything. And now I'm reading Greg Braden's book, and he's telling us about the brain in our heart. And he's written about some situations like, oh my God, that's just happened to me. So our whole body is reacting to something, and we have a feeling. So we've got to decode that feeling. And so when you think about, if you meet somebody and their energy is yucky and we don't like that person, we instantly have that. We don't know why, but we withdraw. Versus we drive down the road and we smell fresh grass and it reminds us of grandma's. When, you know, that's a happy feeling. We've decoded those two situations just like that. So what we've got to decide is when we're going, and we've got these feelings for a reason. So ultimately, when we're working towards creating a dream life and manifesting everything, is that, and the law of attraction, is that you've moved up that level of consciousness that we've talked about. You've put things in place. You've created space by using the words and communication that you need to be able to create space in your life. And you're sort of working up that level. And then all the feelings that you want to have, you want to be good 24/7. And I'm like that most of the time. Certainly when I have a situation like I had a week ago, it was hard. And so I had to constantly, I couldn't work on the computer. I'd just go for a beach walk. I could do a couple of, but I had to go and find something else that made me feel good. I had a bath. But those feelings are there because you've got to interpret what they are and how you're going to react in your life. The bad feelings, the negative feelings, means that your inner being is calling you to learn something, to take a step, and on the other side of that, it's going to feel better. So if it's, you know, speaking up to your husband about something that's not okay, or creating new boundaries for your children, or looking for a new job, something that's making you happier, you've got to go on that journey. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there for 30 years doing the job you don't like and a relationship that you don't like. You never know what's on the other side until you take that journey. But the thing is, if you align it to your dreams and goals, and when you learn how to use the universe, the law of attraction, to start bringing things to you, then that's a possibility. Because they want you to be your best. You being your best self means that you put your best self out into the world to make the world a better place. Simple as that. And therefore humanity is growing. And we are creating a happier world for everybody to live in. So with your feelings, you've got your response. Now it's excited or scared. Well, kind of that's where I'm a bit now, you know. I've been not dating for 7 years, pretty scared. But excited as well, because divine manifestation has sent somebody to me. So I didn't go looking. It was like I just had to meet somebody. Universe sends them in or not. So that scared or excited is the same feeling. It's how we interpret it. And so that's what we've got to decide. We've then got to decide how we're going to express that. What decision are we going to make? Now, I could have said, for sure, Anne-Marie's just joined us, I could have said to myself, I'm too scared to go out dating because I've been so focused on a goal. And then the universe was said, well, she's not interested, so we won't worry about finding her a new partner. That's possible. Or I could decide what I've decided, that I will learn to be comfortable and move out of my comfort zone to be able to do this. So our expression that we do of our feeling is entirely up to us. And when you block it, when you're negative, after the universe has delivered something to you, they say, well, she doesn't want it. They don't want it. We're not going to do it. So the universe wants speed. So when you ask for something and it happens and it arrives to you, which I sent a truth bomb to somebody the other day, it's like, well, you asked for this. You asked for the law of attraction. You asked to learn this. It's been delivered. You like this bit of it, but you don't like that bit of it. So it was kind of like this. So it's like, this is all of it. You've got to embrace this part and that part, because that's what feelings are about. Excited or scared, expression or just expressing how you're going to do it. So if you've got a negative feeling, you've got to decide how you're going to turn that into a positive feeling, what steps you need to take, what fears you need to overcome to be able to turn that around for yourself. Because if you don't, again, you're just going to be stuck. Now, the reason I know this, I've been teaching this for 30 years. I've learned it for myself. I was shoulder tapped. Actually, I think I put that on something on my page as well, where I said, if you go back and have a look, why I can teach this. The universe shoulder tapped me to become a teacher. I didn't know I was going to be a teacher. I've been a travel agent and a fashion designer, completely different. So when you have that feeling, you've got to decide whether it's true or false. True or false. So am I being fearful? Am I being scared? Is it true? Or is it just this up here because I'm unfamiliar with it? And is being excited a much more healthier feeling, positive feeling to have? So you've got this going on all the time, because then that feeling goes that you've had, it either gets expressed outwards, which means that you're going to share it with somebody, or otherwise you take it, internalize it. Now, when you internalize the negative feelings, that's when you're going to get sick. So, and I'm just doing a Hay House course with Donna Eden, and it's talking about all these energy blocks, the cancer, all the diabetes and everything are energy blocks in our body because we haven't looked after ourselves. And we've got a block there that we've got to learn how to change. And Hay House actually have something else going on about radical remission, where people have turned their cancer around because they've followed their feelings, they've overcome the fears, they've made the changes in their life so that they can heal. So all of these things are kind of like part of our living, part of the journey that we've got to go on so that you can become your best self. And if I hadn't gone on the journey, I wouldn't be here teaching. I wouldn't be bringing the movie to the world. I wouldn't be going sailing with my dream man, because I would have been too scared, and I would have cut myself off years ago and just stayed being a woman with a husband that bullied her, and I would have had 2 children that would have been totally screwed up in the head because they had a mother and a father who didn't get on. So your choice. So if you want to move on, this is it. This is where it comes down to now, the crunch for you. If you really, really want, you've got to make some decisions. So if that's really where you are, call me and have a chat. I've been teaching this for years and years. I know everything that people need because our subconscious mind is delivering to us. If I don't know, I will get an answer from upstairs. And most certainly I did that the other day. I got a couple of answers from upstairs to send them on to people. And that's what I do, because if I haven't got it, those guys up there have got it, and they will give the answer to me. So if you want to book a call and so that you can move ahead, private message me, put a link down below. I forgot to get the link to put up there. But basically what it's doing is that you can have the very best life if you want it. You can have everything that you want. You've got to go on the journey to release what's not working and then create what is working. You've got to know why you're here, what's your number, what's your numerology, what's your soul journey, what are the biggest things, and the biggest things are always the hardest things that you've got happening in your life. to empower yourself to move forward. People aren't just successful because they've just arrived there. People are successful because they've changed their habits, changed their mindset, gone out of their comfort zone to be able to do it. So what I'm doing, I'm going sailing. I'm living my dream life in about 10 days, off for a week. So I've opened up for 5 calls between now and then. So if you're interested, put that message in there. If you fit my criteria, I'll offer you to come into my coaching program, and then we move forward from here. And then within sort of 90 days, you will have gone through all the modules, and you will be ready to be. You will be changing your life from the first one. I know, because that's what everybody tells me. So that's kind of where we're at with our fears and our feelings. Except, where's my cards gone? Except I've got Kathy from Plymouth. And Kathy, you answered a question back here and told me where you were from. So I'm going to pull a card for you. Now, how I'm doing this, Kathy, is that I'm tapping into you. I'm tapping into divine, and I can. And so whatever card's going to come out, what I will do, I'll cut the cards. I will read the card out, show you the picture, and then I will, if you can private message me, I will then send you a photograph of it as well. So Kathy, this is for you. Here it is. Oh, here we go. It's Dance to the Rhythm of Life. So Kathy, what it's saying, today I find the joy in my heart. I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I've got a light blaring in my eyes and I can't read. I lighten my life by releasing what I no longer need. I align myself with who I am and gently acknowledge who I am not. I am grateful for what I possess and am at peace with what I do not. I appreciate and accept my life as it is. I live according to the will of God. In this way, I dance with life and see the magic of love bloom. So what does that mean, Kathy? So what it means to me, what I'm getting is that there's stuff happening in your life right now that you need to sort. Yep, they just said that you need to sort out. So it's going with what's happening in your life now, sorting it out, and then being able to move forward. So everything that has happened in the past has been opportunities to learn. Yep, you've still got more to learn, which we all do, but definitely that comes through. So create some new boundaries, and that's dancing with the rhythm of life. So there's always going to be some things, but there's some things right now that you need to sort out. So Kathy, I hope you enjoyed that. So dancing to the rhythm of life, the goods and the bads, enjoy the goods, and the things where you don't feel okay and that you're fearful of, it's learning to move through them to be able to create a better life for yourself on the other side of them. So everybody, I hope that you've enjoyed that. Has anyone else got any questions? Okay, so if you're ready to move forward, just remember that private message me. It's a free call. It's a success strategy call. It helps you to move to the next phase of your life. I know that I could not have moved. I couldn't have done what I've done in my life without learning. I'm constantly learning, and that's really what it is. It's just going to give you an opportunity to move forward. And if you fit and we fit together, then there's an opportunity for you to do the course. So that's on the unit section. There's an outline of that. There's some more information about me on the course. You can re-listen to this here later on. Post any questions to me. Kathy, contact me and I've put it away. I'll have to go searching for it again. So it came up exactly. It came up exactly. So I can email that to you so that you can see that. So thanks, everybody. One other thing that I've decided that I will do, next week's Facebook Live will probably be on, where's all my topics? Somewhere I've got here all of my modules, what modules I haven't done in my course. Da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. I've got lots of pieces of paper here. Right, okay. So maybe we might talk about communication next week as a Facebook Live. That's helpful. The other thing that I'm going to do, because there's so many of you that have said when you've answered the questions, I've still got a few more that have joined lately that I've got to send out the free ebook about 70 positive tips, that I'm going to do some short videos, three minutes or so, for the next 30 days. I'm going to start soon. 30 days of videos, all to do with different aspects of confidence. So they're just going to be short and sweet, getting posted daily. If you've got anyone else that needs to have a boost with their confidence, get them to come along and join the group, answer the questions and join the group, because I know personally for me, and on every course, every single course that I've been on, is that the ultimate goal is that you become more confident so you can take the action you need to move up the next rung of your ladder. So look out for those. I will have them coming out automatically once I go go boating. Excuse me. So remember, if you've got any questions, post them, and have a lovely evening. It's up to afternoon here in New Zealand. So thanks for listening, everyone.